Hey Bears fans, before we jump into today's video, can I just get a bear down in the comments? Come on, the coaching, the GM search, it's all heating up at a very rapid pace. I want to see 1,000 comments on today's video. So just type bear down in the comments. You can use the emojis like we did up there as well if that makes it easier for you guys. Gotta rally behind this franchise, even if there's reason to doubt this group right now. Type bear down and we'll jump on into today's show. Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Fetch Rewards. Earn points by scanning receipts from any restaurant or store, and then you can later turn those points into gift cards or other rewards. Go to chatsports.com/fetch, and you can get 3,000 bonus points to start on your initial receipt scan by using promo code BEARS. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, here on another episode of Chicago Bears Now, and the coaching and GM search, it continues. But first, let's talk about the quarterback. Justin Fields has spoken out really for the first time since the season ended. He, of course, met with the media that Wednesday before the season finale against the Minnesota Vikings. He was anticipating to start at quarterback, and then, of course, he tests positive for COVID-19. So he tweets out today something he doesn't do a lot. He's pretty inactive on Twitter outside of some ad partners that he has going on social media. Sent a tweet out basically thanking fans, family, teammates, etc. And you guys saw the mini quote on the last graphic. He did tell Bears fans that the best is yet to come, and obviously this impending coaching and GM search is huge for Fields and his future. Here's what he had to say on Twitter earlier today. Shout out to my family, friends, and teammates for helping me get through year one. Everything happens for a reason, and it's just a small part of the journey. The best is yet to come. #AGTG, which stands normally for all glory to God. Look, Justin Fields is going to grind this offseason. We know that. He's a relentless worker. Darnell Mooney said on the day the season ended that he and Fields were planning to go to Florida right away to start training. Obviously, once Fields cleared COVID protocols first, I'm sure. But he is going to be in the gym and throwing every single day this offseason. I have no doubts about that. And he has some positives, I think, to build on. Obviously, the raw stats, we continue to talk about them. They're not great, but a lot of the advanced metrics show that he improved throughout the year, especially on the vertical, throws downfield, which was a strength of his coming out of college. He's got the mobility. You've got a quarterback in place, in my opinion, with the right coaching and pieces around him that can be a special player. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That doesn't mean he's going to be the real deal. I'm simply saying there's a chance. Fields, I like that note of the best is yet to come. He's saying, hey, I'm going to work. We're going to make this work. Stick with us. That's kind of what that told me when Justin Fields put that out on Twitter earlier today. So good to hear from him publicly. And, the journey begins to get ready for 2022. It began, probably a week ago for Justin Fields. Do you believe that Justin Fields is the guy? Like, he's going to be QB1 for this franchise for a long time. Do you think he can be a franchise quarterback? I want to hear it from you guys in the comments. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and answer this question. Leslie Frazier, is there increasing buzz around him as a potential next head coach for the Chicago Bears? Well, I hope not. But Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports says there's anticipation around Frazier's upcoming interview in Chicago. He was set to interview on Sunday, but we told you on yesterday's video that got pushed back. Now we know it's going to be next Friday, or this Friday, I should say, here in 4 days on Friday. And of course, what's the connection? Well, he played for the Bears and was a part of that 1985 Super Bowl winning team. This isn't a personal thing, but please don't hire Leslie Frazier. Just don't do it. Good defensive coach. I think he could connect with players and be a good voice for a locker room, but we've already seen this with Leslie Frazier. He hasn't worked as a head coach. My producer, Marshall Green, put it best in the office the other day. Some guys are just coordinators, and I think Leslie Frazier is a coordinator. He can run a defense. I don't know if I would trust him to come in here, be a great head coach, assemble a good offensive staff for Justin Fields, and prove that he can be that guy for this franchise. So we'll see. We've heard buzz around Frazier going into this process. The rumor that, Tony Dungy has, signed off on Frazier as a candidate for Chicago. But the end of the day, it just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me. We'll see. He's set to interview here on Friday. Hey guys, I want to tell you about the Fetch Rewards app. We've just partnered up with them, and guys, you can turn your receipts from any retail place, restaurant, wherever, literally anywhere, into gift cards. Let me show you how easy this is. Got a pile of receipts here. I'm just going to grab one. Boom. I'm going to snap this thing for you guys. It is very, very easy. Take a photo of it there, and then once it confirms, you are good to go. I hit the submit button here, confirm, and then it turns into points. And the more points I'm able to get, the more gift cards I will be able to eventually capture for myself. Amazon, you've got also Starbucks, other places as well. Boom, you see that it turned into 4,000 points right there after my referral sign up right there. I go to rewards. Oh, there you go. There's the receipt summary as well. It all signs up for you guys. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/fetch, plug in that promo code BEARS, and you will start with 3,000 points to begin with, and then you build from there. Very user-friendly, chatsports.com/fetch. You take a look at Frazier's tenure as the Vikings head coach, and obviously the Bears would say, hey, well, he knows the NFC North. Well, he didn't know it well enough because he didn't win nearly enough games, got the interim gig, went 3-3 in 2010. That was enough to get him the job. Then he goes 3-13, improved to 10-6, a nice improvement there from 2011 to 2012, got to the playoffs, lost in the wild card round, but then the regression again, 5-10-1 in 2013. Overall, 11 games below 500. The problem with Frazier in Minnesota is he never got the offense right. Regardless of who the coordinator was, regardless of who the players were, the offense never took off. And what's been the problem in Chicago for years? The offense. You got to get the offense to take off. I'm not saying there's zero chance that Leslie Frazier could have success as head coach, but I don't want to find out. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to be in the same position in 2 years. Frazier comes in here, the defense is still good, the offense doesn't work. By then, maybe you have Justin Fields might prove to not be the guy because you didn't get the right coordinator and staff in here. It makes me too nervous, man. I would not do this. But the more we hear, the more it sounds like the Bears are intrigued by Leslie Frazier. I hope this doesn't happen, but it seems like it's definitely a possibility. How upset, or maybe excited, would you be with Leslie Frazier? If you would be super pissed, type 100. If you're like, no, this would be great, well, type 1 because you wouldn't be upset at all. I'd be at like a 90. I mean, I'd obviously let it play out and see if he proves me wrong. I would hope he would prove me wrong, but I think out of all the candidates on the coaching side that the Bears have requested interviews for, I think Frazier's my lowest guy. I'm not that high on him. I think his ceiling as a head coach is pretty limited. I want to thank you guys for helping us reach 40,000 subscribers. We reached it last night here on the channel. It's a huge accomplishment for us here at Chat Sports. It's a huge shout out to you guys because what we do at Bears Now, daily videos, news, rumors, it's not possible without love from Bears fans. And 40,000 subs and just over 2 years of this channel being a thing, I'd say that's a pretty loud statement by you guys. So we appreciate it. We promise here at Chicago Bears Now to keep busting it. I'm going to keep grinding every single day to bring you daily videos, news, rumors, live shows as well. We'll be live again tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. That is my promise to you. If you haven't subscribed already, join the movement. The road to 50,000 is underway, and thanks to you guys for making it all possible here at Chicago Bears Now. Okay, let's talk about Ed Dodds on the GM side of things, the assistant coach, the assistant GM for the Indianapolis Colts is what I meant to say. Report out there, a lot of buzz surrounding Dodds as a GM candidate for Chicago. Many people believe, as he's set to interview today, could be interviewing as we speak actually here on Monday, that if he interviews well and impresses, because they already like him a lot going into this interview, that he could emerge as the top candidate should he interview well today. And that makes sense because his resume is pretty strong for a guy who hasn't been a GM before. He's worked directly under Chris Ballard. He's my top candidate. Like, if you like the interview today, just hire him. I mean, I know you've got other interviews lined up, but Ed Dodds is you read more and more about this guy and you talk about how he doesn't settle for anything. He's not stagnant. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He's always looking to improve his roster, how he can tweak things, how his football teams can be better. Here are some pros for him. Chris Ballard made him his assistant GM very fast in Indianapolis. He believes in physicality, and I think the Bears need to be physical, especially offensively. We know they're there defensively, but how are you physical? Well, you get good offensive linemen in there. And what have the Colts done? They have built that offensive line, and Ed Dodds is a big part of that, along with Morocco Brown, who is their director of college scouting, another GM candidate for Chicago. All of that under Chris Ballard, who should have gotten this GM job several years ago. The Bears passed, took Ryan Pace instead. But Ed Dodds is a guy that comes from a good lineage of guys who have built a roster the right way in Indianapolis. Doesn't mean he's perfect, but the Colts have drafted well. They've made smart free agent decisions. I think that this would be a really, really good hire if the Bears decide to go with Ed Dodds. Who is your top GM candidate? Because Dodds is mine. Now, there's a lot of good names that the Bears are interviewing. Really, really quality GM candidates. I like their pool that they have come up with, but Dodds is my top guy. I want to hear it from you. Who is your top GM candidate for the Chicago Bears? And I do just want to mention that whoever it is, you got to figure that O-line out. And that's why I like Dodds. He's going to draft offensive linemen. He's going to look at guys in free agency, whether it's at the center position or maybe they want to, get a left tackle and put Tevin Jenkins at right tackle, move Borum inside. Like, I promise you that Ed Dodds will come in here and address this O-line. It may not be perfect in year one, but he won't just leave it how it is. I think he will look at ways to improve that unit. Did want to mention this as well on the coaching GM tracker front. Also, Colts, again, yesterday, 2 Bills interviews, Joe Shane and Brian Dable today, 2 Colts guys. We just mentioned Ed Dodds, but also defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, who's one of the top defensive minds in the NFL, will also interview for the head coaching job. I think he's probably a little bit lower, if I had to guess, on the Bears, kind of coaching candidates list as of now, but George McCaskey said that they're looking to be wowed and amazed, and that they'll know it when they see it, when they get the right GM and coach in the room when they go through these interview processes. So it's certainly possible that Eberflus could emerge as a top candidate. All right, that's all for now. More updates, news, rumors to come throughout the week. Again, we'll be live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. By the way, we had a lot of fun doing Instagram Live last week. We'll probably do another one of those in the next couple of weeks. So give me a follow on IG at HGramNFL. Maybe once we cross 2,000 followers, we're at about 1,600 and some change. Once we get to 2K, maybe we'll do another little, live Q&A on IG. In the meantime, follow me, slide in my DMs. I'm always down to chop up some Bears football with you guys. We'll see you soon. I'm Harrison Graham here on Chicago Bears Now.